Hello?
Hi, this is a courtesy call regarding your health insurance inquiry. We need to speak with you regarding your pending application. Please contact us now.
Telemarketers. Okay guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be checking out how we're going to be stopping those doggone robocalls that you and I know everyone else everywhere gets, where you get those scam calls like I showed in the intro video, and it's just absolutely annoying. Well, I've heard of a simple little trick. The first I heard of this was from good old Barnacules Nerdgasm. If you check him out, I'll put a link down below, but check him out. He's got an awesome webpage, or at least YouTube channel, and he does all kinds of cool tech reviews and stuff. But he mentioned this in one of his videos, and it got me thinking about a quick and easy way to do this little trick. Now, the supposed thing is if you can blast modem sounds to a robocall. Basically what a robocall is it's basically a little computer system that automatically calls you without a human being actually being on the other end until you say the words hello, okay? And then sometimes it's just a voice recording in any case, and it asks you, tells you something like your insurance is bad, or you have a recall on your car or something, but it's something to try to get your attention and sell you stuff. So basically what I'm doing is, if you can blast that old modem sound, and those of you that are as old as me and older, you guys know back in the day, in the dial-up internet days, when you used to listen to those modem sounds, if you can get that and blast it into the phone, what happens is, since there's a lot of fax machines still in service nowadays, the robo system, supposedly the robo system thinks that it is a fax machine, and it basically marks the number as a dead number, and it shouldn't call you again if you can blast that sound. So the thing that I thought of is, well, I'll just put it on my cell phone. But the problem is when the call calls and you're trying to fumble around, you're trying to get that sound pulled up, or maybe you got two phones, you're trying to put the phones together, and try to get the sound to work, and it's just not feasible, right? So I figured we need some sort of little handheld system where just at the touch of a button, it'll blast that sound out, and you can just pull it out of your pocket, set it next to your phone, and press the button. So that is where this video came from. So in order to do this, we're going to be using a pretty cool little component that I found. I believe IC Station had this for a little while, but it looks like they discontinued it. They went with kind of a bigger module, and I really enjoyed this one because it was so small. It was a very small module, but it's the WTV020, and I think there's some other, I think it's a M01. I have one right here. They are tiny, if you can see that. Hopefully it'll do it. But they are very tiny. Basically what it is, it's a small MP3 player. It takes a micro SD card, so you can buy some cheap little 2 gig one. In fact, the smaller the better, because this can't index very high memory, so you don't want to put like an 8 gig in there. It won't work. So what I did is I downloaded some 2 gigs, even though it recommends 1 gig or smaller. I got a 2 gig one. It seems to work just fine in this thing. So 2 gigs what I'm going to be using. But just find the cheapest card. Doesn't need to be fast. Just as long as it's a micro SD card, it'll fit just fine in this little guy. So that will be the first thing we need. We also need a small little speaker, just a simple flat pack speaker. I think I found mine on Amazon. I'll maybe put some links down in the description for you guys, as well as where to find this. Now, where you can find these nowadays is good old eBay is where you can find these, or as AVE says, Fleabay, right? But you can find these. They're only a few dollars, super cheap, but they're these little modules, and they work great for what we're going to be using this for. So, like I said, I'll put links down in the description so you guys will be able to tell. But you just need that, and you just need a little push button, okay? That's all you need, just a little tactile push button. And we'll go through, we'll look at it, and we'll see what it is. So what we're going to do first is, this is the good old schematic. So we're going to hook up our VDD. It is a 3.3 volt device, so it's going to be using either coin cell or lithium cell batteries. You don't want over 5 volts. Now, there is an option on the board. You have to cut a trace or solder a jumper or something. I can't remember which, if you want it to run at 5 volts. But you would still have to regulate like a 9-volt battery or something like that to get the 5 volts. So since lithium batteries are generally 3 volts just on their own, they work perfectly for this. So you need a 3 volt and ground. The speaker goes to the speaker pins. Pretty straightforward. And then we're going to put in a play pause switch, so you can press it to play it, and then you can press it to stop it if once it's done playing. And that goes off of pin 7 here on the little chip. Okay, so that's it. Very, very simple schematic. So now we need to build the 3D case that this is going to go in. So for that, to inventor. So we're going to build a little case here that's going to have a top and a bottom, okay? And it's basically going to have a little button on the side. Now, I had messed up in my file. I'll probably correct this before I post it for you guys in the link down below. So as I'm recording this, I forgot to post this. But basically, if I take the top off of it, I didn't think about getting the switch into it, so you just have to cut this little bridge right here off, or I'll fix that in the model. But basically this chunk of plastic right here needs to be removed so you can actually get the button in there. But basically what I did was I modeled up the speaker and whatnot. Here, I'll show you this. I basically modeled up the speaker and the coin cell and the little module kind of just as a general idea to get how thick this is gonna be. Yes, I know this is hitting right here, but in the actual device it's fine. But just to get a rough idea how big that I have to deal with here, I basically just put that together to get sizes. So let's go ahead and turn this back on. Let me look over here so I can read it. So there's the bottom. I also made some inside edges. As you can see, there's an edge right here, so that way it snaps together. So all we got to do is 3D print out the button, the case, and we should be good to go. And then we'll just make some quick little solder connections to match our, if I can get the deal, match our schematic here, and we should be good. Like I said, links down in the description to the GitHub that'll have all of this information on there. So let's go ahead and get some soldering going and get some 3D printing going and see if we can't get this thing put together. Okay guys, so here we are with all the pieces. However, I noticed something that was quite of a caveat. Didn't really realize how much amperage this guy actually takes. So the coin cell battery is not going to be enough oomph for it to actually work right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use one of these 18650 batteries. Problem was this draws so much current. This guy was dropping way below 3.3 volts. It was going down to like 2.5 volts, and it just wasn't going to work for us. So we're going to switch it out to a 3.3 volt lithium ion battery. And so all I did to make this little change is with our cool little 3D print. We've 3D printed the case here, so there's our speaker grill and all of our other pieces. What I did was basically just take one of my 18650 battery holders. You can get these off of Amazon or pretty much eBay or anywhere, but just got one of those, drilled a couple little holes in our package, and then what I'll ultimately do is probably hot glue this onto this guy, and then it'll just kind of be like, you know, you hold it like this, click, 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 you know, and we'll wire it up instead. So that way it gives us the extra push that we need. So I'll go ahead and desolder this guy from it, and we'll solder this all up, and then we should be able to assemble this guy. Okay, so I've got the good old hot snot gun here, so let's... Alright, now I'm going to attempt to not burn the crap out of myself. Okay, well that was incredibly hot. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to see if I can't maybe put a few blobs on this, except I just stuck that in it. Alright, see if I can't put the speaker in here, and then we'll add a couple blobs to the speaker, and we'll see what happens here. So, okay, now that I've kind of like smushed that in there, I'm going to see if I can't snap the lid on. Go together properly. Come on. Alright. Oh, I think I got it. And there it is. Okay, so we successfully put it together. Okay guys, so now we got that wired up a little bit, so now we're going to check out the micro SD card and getting the audio file to actually do it. So what I did was I just perused the internet, found a WAV file for that internet sound, and so we'll pull up our great tool here of Audacity. So we're going to open this up, and let's see, I saved it in here, the sound of the internet. So So basically, here's our sound. However, I don't know if I like all those. There we go. That's the good one. Okay, so I don't want to hear that dialing and that other stuff, so I'm just going to delete it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm just going to press the delete key. That will get rid of it. Now it should just be the normal sound. Yep, that sounds good. I'm going to take this tail end stuff off and get rid of that. But now the next thing we have to do is we have to do a few different things. So what we want to do is we want to go up here and we want to select tracks. And then we're going to come down here to stereo track mono. Stereo track mono. Okay, so it needs to be mono. You don't want it to be a stereo track. All right. So then first thing we need to do is we need to come down here and we need to select the sampling rate to be 16,000 because we just only want it to be 16 kilohertz. Okay, so excuse me, and then we want to click up here as well on the name of this. Let's see, we're going to come down here. We want this to be about 16-bit PCM. We don't want it to be anything higher than that. We also want to maybe play with the amplify. What we do is go up here to effects, amplify, and you may want to play around with it. And you can either make it bigger or smaller. You can play around with it. I would probably say amplification maybe -1, maybe -3. That will cut it in half. See, and it just makes it smaller. It's not as loud. Because if you get it too loud, remember this thing doesn't really have that great of an audio, amp in it, so it will clip and it will get like poppy and weird, and it may not sound right. So you may have to play with the amplification until you get it right. Okay, so once you get that below that, what you're going to do is you're going to come up here and you're going to select file. You're going to export the audio, and you want to make sure that you are on 16-bit PCM wave. Okay, so not 32-bit, 16-bit. And then you will save it. Now I've already done this, so I've got it saved as Robocall. Okay, so once you save that, you should be good to go. Now that's not it. I've noticed that the WAV file is kind of a pain to deal with. So how we fix that is you need to get an AD4 converter. Now I do have a link to a website. Let me see if I can pull that up for you guys real fast. Link to a website where you can get this. I will put this link down in the description box below, but you just basically hit download and you download the AD4 converter. It comes as a zip, extract it, and then you've got it ready to go. So now what we need to do is we need to just open a terminal. So I'm going to grab a terminable. All right, and I need a CD to where I've got everything. Inside there, we've got our AD4 converter. So very, very simple. The command that you need to run now that we have the WAV file, and you always label them as if you have multiple files. So you can also do multiple files with this audio guy. So you name them 000 or 4 zeros. It takes a 4-digit number to order them. So however you want them to order. If you want the first, the first one to play is 0000. The next one would be 0001, 0002, 003, so on and so forth. See, so we're going to name it 0000 since it's going to be the first, probably, and the only one that put on there. But you can put multiple WAV files on this thing if you want to. But for what we're doing, only need one. So our basically what we're going to do is the command we're going to use. Let me set some properties here and let me get the font bigger for you guys so you guys can see what we're dealing with here. So there we are. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run the command AD4 converter, it's the exe, and then we're going to run -E4, and then whatever path to your WAV file would be, which mine is 0000.wave. Okay, and then that should be pretty much it. And then you just hit enter, and then it will go ahead and it will generate the .AD4 for you. Now, I'd already run this. I mean, I ran it again, so you can see that it updated with today's date. But that's all you got to do, and that generates the AD4 file, which will play a whole lot better on this little MP3 player device. So that's all you need to do. Now, to get this on there, you use this file right here. It says AD4, just drag and drop it onto your micro SD that you're using, and then install it in the device. That's literally all there is to getting the the MP3 onto the device so that way you can play it.
All right, guys. Now here, listen. Okay, so we successfully put it together.
Alright guys, well I hope that you've enjoyed this video on how to keep those scammers away from your phone. So guys, I'm going to use this for the next week or so, and I will probably post on social media because I get tons of these every day on my work cell phone. Thankfully I don't get as many of them on my personal cell phone, but I do get a lot of them on my work cell phone. So I'm going to try this and see if I can't reduce how many calls I'm going to get. And on social media I will report back to you guys and let you guys know. So definitely make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell if you have not already, so that way you don't miss any other really cool videos like building these cool little gadgets that will help you out, as well as check me out on Twitter and Instructables and Facebook and all those different social medias, because I'll be posting updates of how well this little guy has been working ever since I started using it against the scammers. So guys, stay safe out there. Make sure that you get rid of all those scammers. Don't let anybody pickpocket you. Do your research and make sure you don't get caught in a scam. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and we will see you next time. That's such a classic sound.